Hello, hi there, I'm Dennis. Today we're going to walk through the base installation of Arch Linux. I'd like for you to take note of the time there. It's 3:03, December 24th, 2019. Okay, so what I've got is I've got it in a virtual box. I'll boot it up to the ISO, and this is the screen that you'll see when you boot into your ISO, whether it be on a CD or a USB stick or in VirtualBox. This is the screen you will see. So your choices are going to be, let's start at the bottom. You can power off, you can reboot, find out some information on your hardware. You can run a memory test, memory test 86. You can boot existing OS, which we don't have at this point, or we can boot Arch Linux. We're going to boot Arch Linux. So hit enter. And while this is loading, I'll tell you that I am in a virtual box. I've allotted 42 gigs of hard drive space, and I've also gave it 4 CPUs and 6 gigs of RAM. While this is loading up as well, I'll tell you that if you're doing this, and if you're doing it anywhere besides the United States, or where the English US is not default, then you need to set your keyboard layout. And if you're on a laptop, you'll need to run Wi-Fi menu and select your card if it picks it up, and type in your password, and you should be good to go. Okay, so they tell you the first thing to do is to ping Google, or not Google, although that works, archlinux.org. Okay, so I'm online, it's pinging fine. Control C stops that. Now, if I wanted just to specify the time, I could say -C, and we'll specify, say, 5 times, and hit enter again, and it'll ping 5 times and stop or report. Okay, but this is the way I prefer. If I'm going to get online, if I'm going to check, see if I'm online, might as well do something that's going to work for me. So pacman SYY to sync our databases. And as you see, it's syncing just fine. So we are definitely online. So Control L clears the screen. So when this is through, I'm going to Control L. First thing we're going to do is set our time and date. And date CTL space set -NTP space true. Okay. Now, up arrow will bring that back, and backspace, get all that out, hit enter, and you'll see it's Tuesday, December 24th, 2019. Alright, so it's time to do something with our disk. And I like using CF disk because it reminds me of the old DOS, when you used to have to format your hard drives before you'd install Windows. So, oops, said a bad word. Anyway, on this selection, I'm going to choose DOS because I am in a legacy BIOS, and I've got a 42 gig hard drive here. And I'm going to allocate 2 gigs, and we're going to call that swap. So slide over to type, hit enter, go up to swap, hit enter. Now use the arrow key to come down to our new space, unused space, hit new. I got 40 gigs left. Let's just split it. Primary, most important part here is to make it bootable. And the asterisk appeared. We're in good shape. Arrow down for the free space, enter for new, enter, enter. Okay. Now, it's time to write this baby out. Okay, we're going to have to type in yes or no if we're not happy. In this case, I am, so right. And we can quit, and it's syncing the data disk and brought us back to our command prompt. So Control L clears the screen. Now, all right, so first thing I'm going to do is make swap. And I'm going to make it on device SDA1. Okay, and I'm going to turn that on, swap on device SDA1. Correct. Okay. Now I can make a file system of .ext4 to our device SDA2. Hit enter. Okay. The up arrow brings that last command back. Backspace out of the 2, off the 2, hit enter, or 3, enter. Okay. So now we've got our partitions and our file systems made up. We need to mount those. So mount device SDA2 to MNT. Okay. Now we have a home directory, so we need to make that directory. MNT home. So it's mkdir space /mount/home. Enter. Now let's mount that device to MNT home. And we're there. So I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. And now we're going to edit our mirror list. By using nano space /Etsy /pacman, which I'm glad I looked. I didn't spell that right. Hey man. .d mirror list. And I'm in nano, so Control K deletes. So Control K. I'm choosing United States and Canada. Although if you'll read at the very top there, it says they're already sorted and rated. So this step's not probably totally necessary. But the wiki does suggest it, so I do it. And I'll get, erase that, United States. Can't get it back. Alright, so I'm going to get a couple more maybe. Less than a dozen, more than half a dozen. Get that last one down there that I can see. Okay, that's enough. Control O to write it out. Enter to say yep. Control X gets this out. Control L to clear the screen. Okay, so now we're ready to actually install Arch Linux. We do that through the pacstrap command, which is a script that will install these packages where we tell it to, and in this case we told it to /mnt. So base devel, which is not in the wiki no more, but it does download some stuff. Linux kernel and some Linux firmware and nano. Alright, so we got the base devel, Linux firmware, and nano. Hit enter. And this is going to be about 1.4 gig download or install. You'll see that in just a second right there. It says it's 330 megabytes install. Download size 1,369 megs. So this is going to take a minute. I'll pause the video and I shall return. Okay, we're back. It's almost finished with the installation. It's got to install Linux firmware here, and then it's going to build some hooks and build some images. But I can see up there where it says optional dependencies for mk-init cpio command, and we'll be getting to that later. Next thing we're going to do is generate a FS tab or file system table. Up until this point, we're still on our ISO that we booted from, whether it be a flash drive or a CD-ROM, or in my case a ISO. Okay, we're finished. And at the bottom it says pack strap mount. It basically repeats our command and telling us that it worked. So I'm going to hit Control L to clear the screen. Now we're going to gen fs tab, and we're going to use dash capital U versus a capital L, so we'll get the UIDs, and we're going to get those from mount, and we're going to pap them over and replace anything in this file here. Mount etc fs tab. Make sure my spelling is correct. Alright, and I always feel better if I check it so we can count. A cat fs tab, and you can see we've got our 3 drives there. Swap where it says none, our root partition, and home. So I'm going to clear the screen, Control L. Now it's time to get over to our hard drive, and we're going to do that with arch change root to mount bin bash. Okay, now we're in our new hard drive. So first thing I'm going to do is remove and replace the etc local time, and we're going to do that by this command. We just removed it. Now we're going to replace it with this command: ln space -sf user share zone info / my case America / Chicago, because they're in central time zone and so am I. And we're going to put that back in. It's a local time, all one word. Yes sir. Share zone info America, looks right. Okay, now next step, set the hardware clock. So systemctl space --utc, and that looks correct. Now a couple things. First of all, I'll do a personal tweak here by going to using nano and going to pacman.conf, and we scroll down to the miscellaneous options right there, and I'm going to deselect, get rid of the hash mark, uncomment it, and also under verbose package list, and then I'm going to go down to a free space underneath and capital I, capital L, little O, V, E, capital C, little A, N, D, Y, hit enter to get my spacing back. Okay, Control O, enter to write it out, Control X to leave, Control L to clean the screen. Now we're going to get one piece of software right here. Whoops, I can't run it until I get it right. So we got pacman -s reflector, and what this will do is, if you don't know already, we're going to run this command and it will actually go into our pacman.d/mirrorless and replace it with the mirrors that we choose and with the protocols that we choose. So this will take just a second here. You can see why it's a good idea. I mean, even though it's coming in at 1.5 megs, it's still not the best. So it's installing. Finished. Control L to clean the screen, and we're going to say reflector -- verbose, so we can verbose, so we can see what it does. We're going to specify our country, single quote, United States, single quote, space -- age. I'm going to select 20. That's how many mirrors we're going to get. We're going to give it the protocol, or set the protocol to HTTPS for security. And we're going to say sort and rate, and then save to etc pacman.d/mirrorless. If I spelled it wrong, it'll tell me. Nope, it didn't tell me, so I must have spelled it okay. Okay. Now that's been done. I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. And now we've got the fastest mirrors. We're going to configure our locale. So nano, etc locale e.gen. And we're going to go down and find our language. In my case, it would be English US. Try not to pass it there. Oops, got close. Uncomment it, remove the pound sign. Uncomment the ISO as well. I will. Control O to write it out. Enter to say yep. Control X to leave. Control L to clear. Now, nano, etc locale e.conf. And we're going to say language, capitals, equals, lowercase en, underscore, capital US, dot, capital UTF, -8. When we know the spelling's right, we're going to say Control O, hit enter to write it on out, Control X to get out of there, Control L to clean the screen. Now we're going to say locale -gen and let the computer create our locale for us. Okay. Now we're going to export. Same command or same line. Language equals en underscore capital US dot capital UTF -8. Hit enter. Okay, now it's time to do our host name. So I'm going to say nano etc host name. And I'm going to select capital A RCH for my host name, Arch. Okay, I'm going to say Control O, enter, Control X, Control L. Alright, now it's time to edit our host file. So we'll say nano etc host, plural. Okay, wiki says 127.0.0.1. Tab over, all one word, local host. Tab enter, ::1, tab, local host, all one word. 127.0.1.1, tab, host name, capital A R C H, period, local, domain, all one word. Tab over and enter your host name again when you're sure all that's spelled right. Fairly important here. We're going to hit Control O, enter, Control X, Control L. Okay, so now our host file has been edited. We're going to create a password for our root, PASSWD. Hit enter. Think of a long, complicated, unforgettable, but totally unbreakable password. And it was updated successfully. Alright, so now we're going to add a user and some groups and a password for him. So we're going to say user or her, add, -m, capital G. Of course, there's a space between all that. And here goes with the groups, a bunch of them. Disk, sys, log, network, floppy, power, scanner, RF kill, users, video, storage, optical, LP, games, audio, input, wheel, ADM, admin, space, dash, small s, space, and for slash bin bash, and our username. In this case, I'm going to use my name. Hit enter. If anything's spelled wrong, it'll come back. It all must have been spelled right, so let's verify that we are in groups. Type in groups, your username, and hit enter, and there we go. Now I need a password, so PASSWD Dennis. And I've got a long and complicated one I'm fixing to use. Nobody could break it, and I can never remember it. I mean, forget it. Okay. Now we're getting into a serious part of the installation. Our sudoers file. So, export visual capitals equals nano, hit enter. Well, up arrow, bring that back. Arrow over. Remove visual and replace it with editor, all caps. Hit enter. And then I'm going to say sudo space /etc /sudoers. Hit enter. Scroll down to user privileges, and underneath root, the wiki here says add your username, space, ALL equals, that's all caps by the way, parentheses, capital ALL, in parentheses, space, capital ALL. Enter. And we're going to uncomment the section that says wheel. Control O to get out of here. Enter to write it. Control X to leave. Control L to clear the screen. Alright, so we've got our password. We've got our groups and wheels set up. Now, this part, the wiki's kind of strange. So it says that this part is usually done, which leaves room for doubt. And so I figure the command is not going to hurt anything, so we're going mkinitcpio. Oops, one too many I's there. Don't need too many I's. Make init cpio space -p, and then the kernel that you chose during the pack strap. In this case, I chose the Linux, so when I'm ready, I'm going to hit enter. And it's doing its thing. It's going to make us an init RAM file. We're fixing to install some software, and then last step be grub, so we're almost finished. Alright, so Control L, clean the screen. And we need some stuff, so let's get pacman -S. And we're going to say, we're going to preface it with needed, in case there's something that we're asking for that we've already got. First thing is Network Manager, which I know we don't have. Network Manager applet. And now let's get some of the stuff that they took away. USB utils, and we're going to need a GV file system to recognize that. E2 FS progs, which is already installed. Pretty sure. DOS FS tools. M tools. And net utils. netctl. Crypt setup's already there. Less LVM2 dialog, which if you're on using a wireless, you're going to need this. I think you'll need one more I saw a while ago in the wiki. And we're going to need some stuff that was probably left out during the initial install of base devel, so let's go ahead and get it back. And we're going to need these for getting some stuff later after we do a desktop, y'all. Alright, man dash db, man dash pages. Why would they leave those out? Everybody needs md add Perl reiser fs progs ISO in case we ever need it. S-nail. And finally text info. Now, about half of this stuff's already installed, but that's why I put the needed. And when you're ready, hit enter. If anything's spelt wrong, it'll tell you. And it passed a lot of stuff up. And it's still almost a little over half a gig. So this is going to take another minute. We'll take another pause in the video. I can get my mouse back. And I'll see you back. Okay, we're almost there. Once we get through with this, the only thing we'll need is grub, and that will complete the base installation of Arch Linux. Wasn't too bad, was it? Probably about 39 or 40 minutes, I'm guessing. Okay, we're finished with that. I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. For install grub, though, we're going to systemctl, all one word, and we're going to enable capital NETWORK, capital MANAGER, all one word. Capitalize the N and the M. Hit enter. We got symlink, so we enabled it. Perfect. I might mention here too that you may be using DHCPCD, and if you do an R, you need to install it either right now or during that install we just did, and then do the same thing here that I did, system enable, but it would be system enable DHCPCD.service, I believe. Okay, so now let's get some grub. Everybody likes grub. Always amazed how fast that is when you hit enter. It's like it's sitting there waiting on you. Okay, that's finished. Control L to clear the screen. And we're going to grub install. Grub dash install. Let's give it a target dash TARGET equals I386 dash PC space dash dash. I'm going to have it recheck. And we're going to install it to device SDA. No numbers, just letters. Okay, check my grammar, spelling, target, PC, recheck, go. And since I put the recheck in there, it's going to take probably a minute maximum extra, but it's worth it. I've had I've done this exact same process before and had it fail a few times, and I would have to boot into my original Arch ISO, mount the drive, Arch chroot back into it, and then repeat the process. And I have found if I put the recheck in there, I have not had that problem. Not saying I won't ever, I'm just saying I have not since I started using the recheck switch. Okay, installation finished, no error reported. Now let's make config. Grub dash mkconfig config, and we're going to say dash o to output 2 always boot grub / grub .cfg, check my spelling, and I believe I'm good to go. Hit enter, and I hate to say it, but whoopee, we're done. But we can't just reboot, we gotta exit out of chroot, which we just did. Then we're going to unmount the drive by giving the command umount space dash capital R and then /mnt. When that's done, instead of reboot, I'm going to say shut down now, and when it shuts down, I'm going to remove the optical drive or the ISO out of the virtual machine in my storage here, and you should be removing your USB stick or your CD, however you boot into it. Get rid of this stuff. Alright, we got grub. That's always a good sign. Sure beats seeing grub rescue. Okay, we're in our Arch login. So let me log in with my username first. And give it my long and trustworthy password. And we're good to go. So, sudo pacman -$SYYU. We'll force it to check for an upgrade. And there's nothing to do. So at this point, we're actually through with our base install. And I'm not going to leave anybody hanging. I'm going to do a desktop installation series, and I'm going to install Mate, KDE Plasma, and of course XFCE, and some of the little quirks that you need to know when you do install those things will be presented at that point. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Bye bye.